Where was I? Ah, yes, the frightful institution of marriage. This is day 2 of my writing in my limited time. Union, coupling, divorce. I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. In my early life, I had a clear goal and a path, an idea, and I was absolutely certain I was going to achieve those goals. Of course, it was completely wrong, but that's beside the point. In my ripe old age of 25, I find that things aren't so certain. This is a big decision, and I swear, I'm not trying to avoid it. I'm trying to contemplate all sides of it, of myself, and come to a conclusion. My love is a scientist, after all. May this play be a frozen moment in time, a genuine, living snapshot of the path my brain would retread over and over again like a mannequin in a living museum. Oh, now may be a good time to mention, the person you see before you is not the writer. No. This person is an actor. One who has been gracious enough to allow to be puppeteered by my words. I wonder if this has a life of its own. Does this character, sans character, exist in its own time and space and life? After all, I have given no instructions that the actor should imitate or produce anything, but these words are most assuredly not theirs. It must be terribly jarring to see an actor fully on display as such, with words foreign to them spilling out of their mouth. What must it look like? For a long time, I've studied the theater. I've been in several productions. I've watched shows make fun of one-man plays, but I've never had the misfortune to sit through one, as you now have. You're welcome. Shit, right, marriage. Okay, so maybe I'm stalling a little bit, but I'm trying, I swear. The Bible describes marriage as the joining of two people, merging them together like an amorphous blob or some Lovecraftian nightmare. Okay, so maybe that's a little harsh, but I should at least consider what characteristics I'm saddling this poor girl with, no? Movement. Note when the actor moves. It is always cold and calculated, especially in places where it feels warm and inviting. Just so you understand, I have screamed out for any moment of truth the theater can bring beyond this sad plaster of falsehoods. Or is that what you like? Painted dolls? You work so hard day in, day out, and your job breaks your mind or spirit or some combination, and maybe rather than hear some angst-ridden artist complain, maybe you just want to escape the cycle of bills and responsibilities for only a tiny bit. Bring us something happy, you might say. And the artist is so concerned with their own vision that they fail to see you who are so important, you whom we ought to serve, no? I do wish I could interact with you as I write this. Perhaps that will be my next performance. Write and debate and improvise, but for now, all this actor is given is words to receive, movements to make, and for once, no emotions to fake. At least, not by my instruction. These trials people go through don't get easier with marriage. But I have found that while living alone, while freer, is far more effort. It's so much harder to clean up for yourself than to clean up for someone else. See, that's the real reason that families have dinner guests, and we apologize for the mess after spending the last 3 hours cleaning. My love cooks. She is an excellent chef. And I'm not saying that in case she sees this show. She is genuinely a great cook. I've started the loathsome task of exercising just to make more room for her food. beginning to suspect I sound like the Unabomber. No, dear officer reading this, my intent is not to dole out death except for possibly myself, but we'll get to that later. My home theater loves a good murder mystery, after all. Isn't that hilariously depressing? How everything in life is eventually corrupted and twisted. That something like someone writing their memoirs could have such a dark and burdensome connotation. Hilariously depressing. No two words have ever better encapsulated life or marriage. I've never been a cynic when it comes to love, at least not until recently. Heartache has a way of making us cold in the long run. Writers would suggest that I give examples, details, rather than just simply tell you that although I loved her deep enough that when she had to leave, I was left broken, crying on the floor for days. So I won't tell you why her eyes were stars in my sky, nor why her laugh set my soul on fire. I will only tell you that they did. And after that break, all I had was what I had written of her. Part of me will always love her. And those memories are fond in my mind, but I've moved on. I'm sure she has too. I only bring this up because there's no guarantee that we would last, because I have felt profound love and commitment before, and it all burned before my eyes. How could I entrust someone with my heart again? Because if you marry, it's no longer just an arrangement or an agreement as they historically started. This is you, all in, forever. Because divorce is not something either party wants.